This is the most scrutinised vaccine rollout in history. And while the clinical trials showed high levels of safety, it's still possible that rare side effects can occur down the track. So far, out of the millions of doses of the Astra vaccine administered, there have only been around 37 cases of people having blood clots soon afterwards. Some of these clots have landed in the lungs, causing a small number of deaths. The problem for regulators is separating coincidence from cause and effect.
It's really important to understand that these coagulation problems, sadly, are very common. Something like 8% of people, 8% at some stage in their life, will have a clotting disorder. There will be a large number of serious health issues that most likely have occurred by coincidence, but we still have to take everyone very seriously and look into them in detail.
Australia's Therapeutic Goods Administration is not yet convinced about following Europe's lead.
We do believe that their actions have been premature and we expect in the course of things may not be warranted.
The question is, what might have spooked the European nations and their scientists? Because there was no increased risk of clots in the Astra trials. The clue to the anxieties may lie in tiny cells in the blood called platelets. And if this is real, it may go beyond just the Astra vaccine. Let me explain. Blood clots form when platelets stick together, so you need platelets for clotting. But in Europe, there have been reports of clotting in people whose platelet count was low.
That's a much rarer event. So having a number of cases like that appearing all of a sudden after the AstraZeneca vaccine and not otherwise with the other vaccines that we know of, or much less if it occurs at all, is much more suspicious that there may be a relationship, but we really don't know that.
This is not the first low platelet issue that may or may not be related to COVID vaccines. Professor Bussell has investigated links between the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines and a low platelet condition caused by antibodies called idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, or ITP. There were 20 cases in the United States, some of which caused life-threatening bleeding.
Okay, you ready?
We don't know that these aren't people who just happen to be developing ITP after they got the vaccine. They would have developed it anyway.
Well, there's no established link between vaccines and clotting. There is a well-described link between ITP and clotting. But other numbers speak for themselves.
With 11 million people vaccinated in the UK, we haven't seen any evidence of a linkage here. But that's not to mean that we won't look at the data very closely in Germany and in other countries.
But experts agree that governments should push forward with vaccinating the public. And I'll certainly be lining up for my dose.
I think if it's possible, the recommendation would be to get the vaccine, and the question would be, how much monitoring do you need?
We're also looking at Australian data. We have no reports of coagulation and clotting problems with either of the vaccines. And we also don't have evidence of plausibility. But we are taking it seriously.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.